In the last 5 years, I've seen this silly thing come up on Facebook over and over again. It's this post that people post during Lent. It says, "Do you want to fast this Lent?" In the words of Pope Francis. Fast from hurting words and say kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and have trust in God. Fast from complaints and contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness and fill your hearts with joy. Fast from selfishness and be compassionate to others. Fast from grudges and be reconciled. Fast from words and be silent so you can listen. And there's a lot of problems with this statement. The main problem is Pope Francis never said any of that. So it's not attributed to him in any way that has been written. But the main problem is, the bigger problem is that we can't fast from things that are sinful. We're called during this solemn season of Lent to turn from sin and to fast from what is good. Why do we fast from what is good? Good food, good stuff, good activities, things we like. It all has to do with desire. And when speaking about desire, it's important to listen to the saints, those who truly desired God. In his confession, St. Augustine states, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you." Speaking about salvation, St. Thomas Aquinas said in his treatise on the 2 precepts of charity, 3 things are necessary for the salvation of man: to know what he ought to believe, to know what he ought to desire, and to know what he ought to do. In this season of Lent, we seek that. By prayer, we seek to strengthen our belief. By almsgiving, we seek to do what we ought to do. But it is by fasting that we order our desires to God himself, by sacrificing our desire for worldly goods for the sake of God, the source of all that is good. We give up good things so that we can be made better, so that we can seek our satisfaction in God and not in what we could have or attain. One of the great gifts that fasting offers us is that it allows us to put our body back into the service of God. So many of our temptations are physical. Of the 7 deadly sins, lust, gluttony, and avarice are normally sins of the flesh. There is a temptation in this life to think that things of the flesh, things of this earth, are evils that get in the way of our true spiritual nature. But as human beings, we are a union of body and soul. And because of that, our body tells us about our soul, and our soul tells us about our body. By fasting from earthly goods, we are placing our reliance on God and training our appetites to desire him. When I was in seminary, we would always go to Mass right before lunch. And one day I was ready for that lunch. And I think it was fried chicken day. It was the best day. And I had a friend who heard my stomach growling all through Mass, and he made a comment. And I joked back with him and I said, "I wish I desired God as much as I desire that chicken. I wish I hungered for the Lord like I hungered for that." And that's the goal this Lent, is to learn to hunger for God. When we deprive ourselves of a good, when we seek God over our earthly appetites, we put our body to the work of our ultimate goal, God himself. So how does the Church ask us to fast? The Code of Canon Law states in Canon 1250, the penitential days and times in the Universal Church are every Friday of the whole year and the season of Lent. In Canon 1251 it states, abstinence from meat or from some other food is determined by the Episcopal Conference, is to be observed on all Fridays unless a solemnity should fall on a Friday. Abstinence and fasting are to be observed on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. Canon 1252 tells us who is required to fast and abstain. Everyone must abstain from meat on Fridays in Lent who has reached the age of 14. And everyone must fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday who has reached the age of 16 and has not completed their 60th year. I said that wrong. But whatever. When fasting, the way we fast in the church is to eat one full meal, no more than one full meal, and 2 snacks, not equal to a meal. And while these norms are prescribed on days of fasting, there's also the other component of what we do during this Lent that is so important. We give up things that we enjoy. Be it junk food or television, but we give up things that we enjoy so that we can focus on Him who we should enjoy more than anything else, God Himself. And instead of relying on our appetites or our desires to move us from activity to activity, from thing to thing, we're asked in this season to take some time and reflect. Reflect on what God has given us, where God is calling us, and how we can better serve Him. And we do that by stepping away from the things of this world that we enjoy so much and seeking Him who is greater than anything we could ever have, our Lord.